Welcome back, folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here, and I'm going to check, okay.
Welcome to the Too Much Dip podcast. My name's Dave. We're going to talk some sports today. Joining me in studio, first and foremost, the most important member of the crew, my guy, Roger Dorn.
I thought you were looking at me before you said my name.
You weren't expecting that.
Yeah, my pen name. I thought you were going to switch it up and say KJ or maybe even Micah. I don't know. Anyway, I am very happy to be here. Thanks for the great introduction, Dave. A fun weekend of sports to talk about. Can't wait to get into it.
Thank you. Now, for a man who needs no introduction, Michael Weiner.
Hello, it's me. Hey, did you guys see this video? It's an extremely rare video of Harambe throwing Superman punches after some gorilla told him in sign language that Cole Campbell ain't shit, boy. And then Harambe said, "That's my homie," this emoji.
Okay. I thought I was believing you for a minute.
I doubt the legitimacy of that story. I'll be honest with you. I like
he
it.
did say extremely rare. Man, it's great to be back.
Never before seen footage. Oh, gosh.
Live from DeSoto, Texas, KJ.
I figured on Martin Luther King Day, I would just, take a day to myself and solace. And it sounds like the Canadians are celebrating MLK Day with Harambe memes, but that's strange. Whatever. Teach their own.
Way to go, Cole. Is he from Hartford, Canada?
Yeah, Hartford, Canada.
That's a callback to Circling Back.
Yeah.
No one has heard that joke
Make
yet.
sure you check out Circling Back if you want to hear Will just be a total dumbass.
Just to be fair to the phenom, Cole Campbell, this was posted 5 days ago. So this isn't as
Okay.
insensitive. It probably wasn't very smart of me either, but
I'm kidding. I just love.
Way to go, Micah.
Micah's
I
ass.
think
my
you're okay
apologies.
on this one.
Okay, thank you. Shouts to the phenom. Shouts to you.
Hey, if you guys have a problem with what Micah just did or just anything in general, you can call. What are we going to call it? The dip line.
The dip line. The dip tips.
Dip tips.
We have a phone number you can call.
We got a phone. Yeah, we don't know yet. You can call whatever you want. 833-371-DIPP. 833-371-DIP.
If you have a good idea for a name for the hotline, please feel free to share it with us, and we will pick the best one and go with that. How about that?
True. And Micah will send you a signed mouse pad.
Yes, he will.
If you get selected.
But only he's going to sign it.
MichaelWeiner@gmail.com. If
I don't think that's going to work.
Okay.
Hey. So Parks watches this YouTube show. It's this little wiener dog, and he dresses up like a dinosaur, and it's called Jurassic Wiener.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not making this up. You can look it up on YouTube.
Sounds like your dream.
Yeah, but it. Shut up, David. But he spells it like Weiner. Like that's how it's spelled, which I believe is the right way to spell
like
wiener.
WIENER.
IE, yeah.
Well, that's.
But they also, it's weird because it's a kid's show, but they do make like weird innuendo jokes about him being a wiener dog. It's weird. I'm not completely sold on it yet. But
KJ, are y'all watching that one yet?
No, we are all in on Daniel Tiger, and the name may scare people off, but Pinkalicious, kind of tight.
Wasn't that a place over off Stemmons that got shut down?
I may have been alleged to visit Pinkalicious once or twice in my life, but, I'm a reformed man now.
My body's too pinkalicious for you, babe. It's a play on bootylicious, Micah.
Right, yeah.
I got it. That's good.
Destiny's Child?
A little bit absurd that they got bootylicious is...
It's okay to say.
No, it's not that it's not okay. It's just so,
Have you heard this new Cardi B song, Dave?
No.
Talk about appropriate.
Give me a few bars.
It's something about something wet. I don't know. I don't know.
Hang on. Let me give you something to... Okay, we don't have that available.
That's not it. That's not it.
Wait,
We don't
maybe...
have a WAP button.
Okay, that one's not going to work either. Well, why don't you just give me a couple bars of it with
I
no
don't,
beat.
I don't know. I don't have the lyrics in front of me.
Is it the one about the Wellerman?
Yes.
Sugar and tea and rum. Plenty
Oh,
of
well,
time when the tonguing is done. Not that.
No. This one's much more vulgar.
Even Snoop Dogg said it was too vulgar.
Did he?
He did. He
Good
came
for
out and
Snoop.
said that they need to dial it back a little bit, which is just funny.
It's quite
Okay.
aggressive.
Can I?
Is she a sea shanty? Isn't that the new thing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a new thing.
Shanty.
Don't tell me this is another thing that y'all just did on fucking circling back, and I'm just bringing it
No,
up.
no,
is.
no,
But
KJ.
KJ, I'm extremely late to it, so
Okay.
which is sort of on brand, but
Didn't Snoop go from being like completely canceled like a year ago, and now he is legitimately on every other commercial?
I think
He's the face of
I
Corona.
think he just got sick of retirement. He's like, I got to do something.
Damn.
I think
I saw him
doing the show
perform in,
with
Augusta.
Martha Stewart kind of brought his brand back, pop culture wide. Like he's acceptable to everybody.
Then he had with the fight, the Logan Paul or whatever Paul brother. His he emerged as quite the talent
he
commentating.
stole the show, I think.
He did. Guys, if you want some merch, we're doing this one for Dippy. And check out the Wash Media shop. It's shop.washmedia. I think that's it, right? Shop.washmedia for all your dip merch. We got people repping. Everybody's out there repping their dip merch. Send us pics. Maybe we'll retweet it on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, at Too Much Dip with 2 P's on Twitter. Too Much Dip Podcast on Instagram. If you like social media stuff. Dylan,
I'm a big social media guy.
you were an early adopter of social media.
That's where things are popping, man.
Hashtagging.
I was, yeah.
You
What
guys
was
want
it like the day that Chocolate Rain was debuted?
Tay Zonde? Is that the guy's name? What's it? Okay.
The
This
fact
has
that
nothing.
Grape Lady made a presence in one of the group chats this week.
I love the
Dude,
Grape
Grape
Lady
Lady
video.
video is OG internet. It still holds up and still one of the most puzzling noises ever made by a human.
But you've had the wind knocked out of you severely before, right?
Multiple times. I've never made that noise.
Well, I've heard that noise when Dylan went up to grab Rem and fell. That was the exact same noise he made.
It's on video. I clearly did not make that sound.
My phone at the time was muted.
I've made a
You have
weird.
to take my word for it.
I've made a weird sound before when an air is knocked out of me. Nothing like Grape Lady.
She sounds like a
that,
damn
man?
hound dog.
Boy, that's
Is she okay? Okay, nobody knows what we're talking about. This.
Everyone
people know.
knows. Come
That's
on.
an OG YouTube video.
I know, but you're so old, and I'm
Okay.
getting there.
Well,
we have listeners that might be younger than that video, or younger than that video.
That's a good point. We definitely
That video was it appeared January 2006.
Oh,
it
my
looks to be
God.
older
Maybe
than
not.
that, though. Like that's
You're
when it hit
14. Get the fuck
internet,
out the
but-
club.
She also broke a couple ribs during that fall. Had to spend weeks in the hospital under observation.
I would play it, but the audio is such shit. It would just.
No one wants to hear that. Just Google it.
Do you want me to
Look
play
up. I mean,
No.
if you can find it.
Yeah, here.
No.
I've got it here.
Well, I don't have.
Just type in Grape Lady on Google. It's the first thing that pops up, Dave.
KJ's on a. Okay.
I'm still crushed about this fucking sea shanty thing. I just went back and looked at the rundown from Twitter. This happens too often. I fucking randomly heard about that like on NPR this weekend. So drives me nuts when that happens.
Did you know there's a Grape Lady remix?
Of course there is.
That is not shocking.
If I hit play on YouTube, am I going to get 2 ads that I have to click through?
There's only one way to find
It
out.
ain't hard to say.
Mute that tab and then unmute it after you got it.
All right, let's see about it.
And one of the things that's done is right here, these buckets are filled with grapes. What kind of grapes?
These are filled with Chamberson grapes, and the winner this Saturday who stomps the most juice will actually win an overnight stay here. So
I'm going to fast forward.
and whoever
They're
stomps the
stomping
most
grapes.
juice wins an overnight stay, but it's not the only thing you can do.
The measuring cups are down below, right?
Measuring cups are down below.
All right. And if you win, you get to stay at Chateau Elan. And what else do you have going on here?
Well, if grape stomping's not
I
your
wonder
thing,
if they're still doing
come
that,
and seminars,
contest.
arts and crafts.
Fast forward again.
It's a
Here we
lot
go.
of fun, a
Yeah,
whole
who won the
day.
overnight
Stop.
stay? Oh my God.
No. Oh, dear.
She is an
She's
intense
actually
fan.
hurt. No.
You can just feel it, man.
Be a real shame if somebody took the video of Dylan missing that dunk. just put that sound over.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's going to do that.
I will earn a retweet from me if you pull it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Randy's taking notes over there.
Randy's going to beat everybody too. He's going to start on it right now.
He heard retweet and just was like, "Oh, well, I'm got to get on this." Hey, did you guys watch NFL football over the weekend?
Boy, did I. That's a
too.
yes. That means yes.
Saturday and Sunday. We had 2 games each day. Delightful little slate.
'Twas.
Don't you have Saturday, Micah?
Yeah. Let's talk about the Saturday games.
It's truly for the boys.
Well,
man.
many people are saying that. It started out with what turned out to be probably the worst game of the weekend. Green Bay kicking the shit out of the L.A. Rams. Aaron Donald was kind of in and out of the game with an injury. He wasn't himself. The Rams offense stinks. And Green Bay with a very professional win. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this one other than, Green Bay's a much better team than the L.A. Rams, especially when Jared Goff can't throw passes.
Yeah,
I was hoping we'd see Bortles.
A-Rod is dealing. He's on a mission, and I love to see it.
I heard someone say that Jordan Love should be the MVP of the league because he's gotten Rodgers just next level angry all season long. He's playing. He's at the peak of his powers. Can't wait for Sunday.
They really put Jordan Love in a real bad spot just by drafting him. Like, the guy can't win.
They traded up for the guy.
They traded up.
Okay, so Rodgers sat around for how many seasons? Well, Brett Favre was like
At least 3.
in the twilight of his 3 seasons.
It might have been 4. I forget.
This might just be the Green Bay
It
way,
was
man.
2 into 3. Because then we had Favre not finish that year and want to play the next year and went to the Vikings the following year.
Okay.
Beat the piss out of the Cowboys in the wild card round, I believe. Just like absolute embarrassment.
I wonder if the I assume the relationship there has improved as far as Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, because whenever they brought in Matt LaFleur, who someone on this podcast quoted, I believe, Mike Lombardi and said this coach sucks.
Yes, Mike Lombardi, who calls him LaFuck for some reason.
But
I don't
whenever they
understand why.
hired him, like Aaron Rodgers and him were reported just not to have gotten along. It's not going to work out. Blah blah blah. And they've done nothing but win like 25 out of 30 games in 2 years or whatever their record is over 2 years. But I feel like we haven't heard much about Rodgers and Love since the drafting. Like, it would be really nice to see if like that relationship is, if Aaron Rodgers has gotten the fuck over himself and he's okay with like,
I mean,
Love getting Matt Flynn money somewhere else.
If they lose the NFC Championship game by 1 point or by 40 points, the hot take, Stephen A. will be screaming about how if they only had a wide receiver with that first pick instead of Jordan Love, they would have won the football game. Like, this is going to be, even if they lose the Super Bowl, that's going to be the first thing that gets challenged. Anyway, they're much better than the Rams. The Rams, it was impressive enough that the Rams got there, I think.
The Rams are banged up. We had Goff's hand. Cooper Kupp was out. And then Aaron Donald was like half of an Aaron Donald.
I think he played, 55% of the snaps?
Yeah. And obviously he wasn't himself when he was on the field. So
I obviously heard that stat this morning. It's not like I know that.
I think Green Bay wins either way, even with a healthy Rams team out there. The way Rodgers is playing.
I would have liked to have seen it.
Yeah.
I kind of joked about Aaron Donald's injury on the live stream, comparing it to Drew Brees, and I think his is much worse. And it's probably being a lot more difficult being on the line and dealing with like a horrible rib injury than being a QB. I don't know.
I don't know either, David.
Buffalo beat Baltimore. You want to talk about that? Sorry, I thought I had something and I just
Yeah,
right
I wasn't
into
sure.
It. Yeah,
that's
my
okay.
bad.
So I have a lot more to say about that game. So yeah, we can.
No, there wasn't. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. Aaron Rodgers, neckbeard. He's got to get a razor and bring it up. I can't really talk because today I came in completely unprepared and unshaved. That neck is getting out of control. He doesn't trim the neckline. Nobody blocks it off. I don't know what's going on there.
You know what? I far from me to question Aaron Rodgers and his dating conquests deserve. He should never be questioned for his appearance because he's done quite well. with the ladies.
His brother landed JoJo.
How could we ever forget?
She's talented.
I wonder if they're speaking these days. That's not important, though. Let's go to Buffalo, Baltimore. Buffalo wins at home. This game was tied 3-3 at half. The win was outrageous. This was my big boy stack. Lock of the week was the over. And when it was 3-3 at half, I knew I was in trouble there. They came back after the halftime, and John Harbaugh said that the wind was even affecting the snaps like in shotgun, so they went to pistol. Like it was pretty intense. There was the 100-yard interception return for a touchdown that really shifted the momentum. Justin Tucker doinked 2 field goals from under 50 yards, which he'd never missed 250.
He didn't do that.
He'd never done that.
Double doink.
He double doinked it. And then Lamar got knocked out in the second half. They had no chance with whoever their backup was, who he played for.
Tyler Huntley?
UCLA
Tyler
guy?
Huntley, I think,
Taylor?
from Utah.
Taylor Huntley.
He's
I
a
think.
Utah guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
You know what? Held his own.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the guy going forward,
No,
but still.
no,
I think Lamar gets his job back. Yeah.
Yeah, this Buffalo played much better this week than they did in the wild card round, in my opinion. The defense is good. McDermott and this coaching staff know what they're doing. This is a team that is well coached, and it's fun to watch windy, snowy, shitty weather games in Buffalo. Loved it for the people of Buffalo.
Speaking of Green Bay, next week, the forecast, we might see some snow. It's going to be in the 20s.
I haven't seen the Kansas City forecast either, but that's an outdoor venue that could potentially get snow too.
Watching football on the snow is just one of my absolutely favorite things to do.
Also watching football with snow.
David, like snow cones?
Ew.
No, just
Like in the middle of a snowball fight? What do you mean?
nothing.
Okay.
What was Lamar's injury?
Concussion.
Yeah,
was concussion.
He bounced his head off the turf.
They showed a shot of the center. I didn't realize that's what why they were focusing in on him, Micah, regarding the center snaps, because he had 2 or 3 bad botch snaps, and I guess it was because of the wind. But this dude was taking full 4-finger licks of his hand before breaking the huddle and going to grab the ball to snap it. And I'm like, you're telling me the team with 28 to 35 COVID cases a few weeks back has a center who's fully comfortable fisting his own mouth and then snapping the ball? It's a little problematic.
Oh, you want to talk about that? We got to talk about Drew Brees licks his fingers every 3
Dude,
seconds.
he's worse than Steve Nash.
It really bothers me. It's gotten to the point where it's just gotten out of control. I mean, he's always done that, I know, but it's every 3 seconds he licks his fingers. I can't handle it.
I used to do that when I was on the mound. They finally called me out. They had to put a rule in.
Because your shit was too dirty?
Yeah, dude, it was just dancing.
Yeah.
Dude, my shit would just dive into the dirt. You couldn't even get a bat on it.
Your ball was just rotating at an RPM never before seen?
Yeah, I was at the Keys Park YMCA just dealing.
Just a 12-6 nasty hook no one could touch?
Just 4 shutout innings.
Gyro ball or whatever the fuck that was called.
Circle change was my pitch. No, I'm kidding.
Moving forward, I think Baltimore needs some new wide receivers. Dez Bryant finishes the season with 2 touchdowns, so I lost that bet. But other than Hollywood Brown, they really don't have many targets in that passing game, and they obviously need to get better to win the playoffs. I don't think that's too much of a hot take.
Hollywood Brown is worth even mentioning. He's been underutilized or underperformed. That system or the quarterback just doesn't work. Mark Andrews gets enough play, gets enough attention, and dominates at tight end there, but they need to get wide receivers that fit what Lamar can do and stop trying to line up all the small speedsters that he's not efficiently getting the ball to.
Yeah, it's a tough scene for Baltimore. I was thinking that they could do it. I think I picked Baltimore.
I did too. But once Lamar got knocked out, I decided to drop in over Dansk. It was over.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I did.
Okay.
Y'all move on to Sunday, which I think is a couple of much more exciting pair of games.
Agreed.
Sunday was fun.
First game, we got Chiefs-Browns. a wildly entertaining game for the most part. It's kind of seemed like the Chiefs were going to pull away. They started to pull away actually at the beginning of the game, and then second half, Browns came out hot. Of course, Mahomes with the weird injury gets knocked out of the game, and it kind of looked like the tables were going to completely turn.
I got to give shout out to the Browns for making that a game, because after the touchback fumble through the end zone, I was like, well, that's it. They're going to get boat raced in the second half. Like, there's no hope there.
Yeah.
But, they did what they had to do. They made it a game.
I guess before we talk the second half, we got to talk about the fumble through the end zone near the end of the first half, which completely changed the trajectory of the game.
My timeline when that happened, starting with KJ and then like 5 people under it. Worst rule in sports, worst rule in football. Everybody hates that rule.
I saw a bunch of people say that, including KJ, of course, and I'm trying to think like justification for changing it. It is an extreme penalty, basically, extreme way to pay for a mistake like that. But I don't know about. I mean,
I love the rule.
If no one recovers it, you say you just get the ball back out on that half-yard line where the fumble occurred. Like, what's a better way to handle
You
it?
could give it to the offensive team on the 20, for example. Just an idea.
I love the rule. I love the drama from a guy reaching the ball towards the end zone and then watching it bounce once or twice, going in or out. Like, I love it. I think it's one of the coolest, highest tension moments in the sport. And then, the other part of that play was there was clearly what appeared to be, upon replay anyway, a helmet-to-helmet contact.
He led with his helmet, yeah.
And
that's what caused a fumble. He put his helmet on the ball. I guess the justification for the ruling is that as a defense, if you force a fumble and it's not recovered, there still needs to be a reward somehow for like causing a fumble that no one actually recovers. But if you fumble it out of bounds, not in the end zone, that's where the ball's marked. So I don't know. I can hear the argument.
I don't know what the rule is as far as like an intentional fumble. But basically, depending on how you change it, you have to make sure that you can't just break out for a run, clock's ticking down in the half, and you just crow hop from the 40 and launch it out of the back of the end zone, like while running towards the end zone. And it's a fumble out of the back of the end zone, and then you keep possession like somewhere closer than that. Like, that wouldn't work. If it goes back to where the fumble occurred, okay, maybe that's an option. But I agree, the defense, gets a little bit shafted. I just think the penalty of loss of possession in those situations just makes absolutely no sense. Like, I don't know what the defense or the offense could do to then prevent that, and it wasn't something that like, in that situation where like they deserve to lose the ball, like not deserve, but like there's nothing on the offense that like created that situation that says, hey, that's a turnover on downs, or hey, this is a loss of possession because of some failure on the offense's part. So I don't know. I'd like to see it change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I have like no better idea, but I'd be fine if they just said, we're going to put it at the 5 no matter what. Like, I would be cool with that.
Yeah. So of course, later in the second half, Mahomes gets knocked out of the game.
Still don't understand how that happened.
In comes Chad Henne. And
now, there's some booty chatter in my Chiefs fan group chat about that he wasn't concussed, but he just got choked, and so he lost consciousness for a second.
Whoa.
But it's not, because if you watch the video, his head never hits the ground. It kind of, his neck is a violent snap.
The guy has him around the neck, but it's not for like an extended period of time. Maybe the force cut off blood flow in the jugular. I don't know.
But I haven't seen that actually reported anywhere. That's just the rumor that I'm seeing. I don't know. I mean, it also just the force that his head moved certainly could have. I hate to play doctor here, but could have. You're talking about a brain injury in a concussion situation. Your head hits and your brain is bruised, basically. The amount of force that he was taken down with, I could see how it was clearly that could have been a concussion, but. A bad scene.
When Henne throws that interception in the end zone,
terrible pitch,
which looked basically like he was throwing a punt to the other team
on first down.
And it was a 5-point game at that point. It kind of seemed like Browns were going to win, to me.
Yeah, and they'll never have a better opportunity to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's true. The Chiefs have failed to cover in 8 of the last 9 games. But in none of those games do I ever expect them to lose. Even in that game yesterday, Tyrann Mathieu is going to make a play. And he just always does. Even if they bend but don't break, I can't see anyone beating this team. Even in ugly games. Even another 5-point non-covering week.
Dude, we don't even know if Mahomes is playing next week.
Well, anything is possible!
Okay. All right, we got to talk about the 4th and 1.
No, KJ, you got any thoughts?
No, that was the worst meme of the day yesterday. For all the Chad Henne puns.
Dude, that's all Mahomes. Mahomes ran with it.
Yeah, but he was not even the first to tweet it out. He just added fuel to the fire.
I
think
forgot
it was
Chad
the
Henne was in the
Jackson Mahomes
league.
original.
Me too. I did too.
13 years. He's 36 years old.
What do you think about the 4th and 1? Or I call it the 4th and fun.
I thought it was one of the ballsiest calls I've ever seen.
Stones.
I really did.
So did-
Tony Romo absolutely he shit his pants, I think.
Oh, he did a lot of things in his pants.
They went up to the line. He's like, oh, you can tell by the body language they're not going to snap it here. Not only do they snap it, they don't run the ball, which it was 4th and 8 inches. They don't run the ball.
From shotgun, too.
Yeah, and and Henne he drops back and it was a quick pass. I get it, but he trusts Chad Henne to throw the ball, and if you don't convert there, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah. I mean, I picture if Mike McCarthy tried that. I'm like, dude, we would be hearing about that the entire offseason.
I was shocked that they did not run the ball.
Yeah.
Well, that they even snapped it, first of all, but then they didn't run the ball.
That would have given Cleveland the ball in the 40, 45-ish or so.
With plenty of
So
time
they
left.
still needed a touchdown, but it would have been 2 minutes, no timeouts, under 2 minutes, no timeouts. So
But
plenty.
they had so much momentum at that point, too.
Oh, the big Mo. Yeah. I do want to comment. Somebody did post when we were talking about on Twitter. I was talking about the coaching hires in regards to Eric Bieniemy, which we'll get to later. But the immediate reaction was talking about how nuts, how ballsy and gutsy Andy Reid is. And I think that's still where the credit goes to here. Regardless of who designed the play, who installed the play during practice, or who picked the play in the moment, Andy Reid still has to sign off on A, we're going for it. B, I'm okay with the pass. C, I'm not vetoing whatever Bieniemy calls in that moment. So even if the play design wasn't particularly great, it worked in the moment. So
When then they showed that they had run the
credit.
exact same play in the exact same situation in week 14, I think, after the game.
Yeah.
I did hear Andy Reid after the game basically said, on 3rd down, we said if we come up short, we're going to be going for it. They had already decided on 3rd down.
That's a head
So
coach.
he probably knew exactly what it was going to be, too. So
Somewhere
good
out there,
teams are
Anthony
prepared
Lynn's
for
head
those moments.
Exploding at hearing that confidence and how you approach a game-changing decision like that.
Well, the play works because the defense is expecting – maybe they're not expecting a play at all, or they're expecting run. Although you shouldn't necessarily be if you're playing the Chiefs, but that's what it looked like. What do you think about Baker? Minus that pick, he was pretty good. Dylan, your thoughts?
He's a good quarterback. I hate the guy. Good quarterback. But you got to think this loss, you're just going to use it as motivation going forward to prove all the haters and doubters wrong, of which there are many.
Of which there are many.
He's just life's underdog, No one wants him to be up.
No
one.
certainly.
But he just keeps doing it.
He's that boy.
Good for Baker. No, he's good. He's good. He had a really good season. The Browns are going to be for real moving forward. That's a good football team.
They should have run the ball more early in the game. I think that hurt. Their chances of sticking around.
I think they ran the ball
throwing
22 times and threw it 39, and that's just not. I also felt like in the second half they gave up on the run a few times, but Baker, shouldn't take too much shine off of Baker here.
No.
To be fair, OBJ might have changed this game a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't really have a deep threat.
Yeah. Jarvis Landry more of a underneath intermediary guy. They don't have the guy to take the top off that defensive take the top off.
You got pop top.
They've got good tight ends. That's the one piece they're missing.
Did you guys happen to follow Johnny Football on Twitter after the game?
Yeah. He needs to just stop.
Little petty. Little petty.
He does he tries to trump everybody's comeback with I'm rich and you're not. thing, which is just really stupid and embarrassing to me.
He's also wearing Jordan 1s.
He's like, I can't hear you. I have too much money in my ear, is one of his responses to somebody.
Maybe
chirping
that's
at
what's
him.
wrong with your ear. You just got too much money in it.
I don't have Johnny Manziel money, I can tell you that.
Where's he getting money?
But like, what does that comeback do? It just makes you look like a dickhead.
Stands out to the IRS in 5 years? I don't know.
Fed's listening.
Will be used against you in a court of law. Yeah, I don't know. I think his life does look pretty dope. I think he just pretty much gambles on sports and plays golf with his buddies.
Yeah,
in
speaking
Scottsdale.
of gambling on sports and Johnny, Johnny follows our Instagram page for Backdoor Cover, the other sports podcast that I do that you should subscribe to. It's available now.
That's real exciting.
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
We went 3-1 on picks this weekend,
It's
too.
the Chad Henne of sports pods.
Anything is possible.
Oh, I'm bummed, man.
Haven't gotten that plug in
I wanted
a
to
minute.
hear Baker shout, "Cleveland, this is for you," but looks like we'll have to wait. They're never going to get a better opportunity. Like,
No.
Nope, they got to play at Arrowhead with no crowd or with very limited crowd. If that was a chance. That was a real
freak
chance.
injury.
But it's not absurd to think, at some point maybe Tyreek Hill's unavailable for a game with them. Maybe their running back situation. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't available for this game. So it's not foregone conclusion that Kansas City comes back 100% healthy next time they play in the playoffs, or maybe somebody else knocks out Kansas City earlier, and the Browns get a pass. So.
And, if you look at that division, Pittsburgh is probably on their way down. They've got some major holes and some major cap issues to deal with. So Cleveland's probably in a position to be the favorite in that division moving forward for the foreseeable future. So it's not, and they beat their hated rivals Pittsburgh last week. This season is a success.
Definitely. And
For
with
sure.
like their best skill player going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk Bucks Saints. Y'all ready? This game, the old man ball, this game was just really weird to me because reports started to come out that this might be Drew Brees' final game.
Jay Glazer.
Final game, and what a just like deflating way to wrap up a career, obviously a Hall of Fame career. They weren't super competitive in the game. He had a couple interceptions, and then he leaves the stadium to a mostly empty crowd. The whole thing was just like, so it's it, huh?
3 picks, actually.
Yeah.
They have 3?
It was 3.
His longest completion was 14 yards, I think.
He does. His arm is shot. You can. I mean, I know
He
he's
just
got
doesn't
the rib,
throw
he's
the
got
ball
the
over
rib
20
thing.
yards.
I don't know how much of that has to do with it, but he can't move the ball downfield anymore. It's pretty apparent.
He's afraid to get hit, and you'd be afraid to get hit too if you had 11 broken ribs or whatever.
But I feel like the way he throws the ball has changed. Like he just he's real short. Like he's got a real short delivery now. Like he can only push it like 20, 25 yards down the field seemingly. It's weird. Anyway, it just felt like a very weird way to end a career. A lot had to do again with there being very few fans in the crowd.
It's also the 4th year in a row that the Saints end their season, and I would consider it heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, they played poorly, and Drew played bad. I mean, it was not a good performance.
0 catches for Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Damn.
Got to get the football to that guy.
That's not good.
It was 20-20 in the fourth quarter, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Like
It was
this
a
was a
game.
competitive game. It didn't feel like a game that had gone back and forth to that degree, because I think there was a pick 6 in this game as well. But like the Saints had more than a chance to win this game, and Drew Brees throwing 2 different interceptions in the fourth, one to Devin White or
Devin White.
I think it's Devin White.
That dude's a baller.
He played his ass off all game long.
Where'd he play
Basically,
college ball?
LSU.
LSU, yeah. Makes sense. They just throwing the game away, like it being squarely on Drew Brees' shoulders. I think that hurt more than there not being fans, than than them losing the game. Like this was unquestionably a loss that would lay it at his feet. I just want to know what the sideline audio was of Jameis and Drew Brees was toward the end of the game.
Yeah.
Jameis was being like probably super positive and super motivational, because that's just kind of how he is. And Drew was like giving it back to him, like, you're the next one. I'm like, he's not going to be there next year.
Yeah.
I will be shocked.
Although he
if
did
that-
have a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
Jameis did.
exactly.
That was a sick call.
Yeah. Fun play.
I did kind of enjoy people like somebody on Twitter was like, what do you think Jameis is out there to do? Like, How are you not ready for that? Like, he's out there lined up as a receiver.
It was the only time. I think it was the only snap he played.
Yeah, it was.
Very efficient.
It really
game
makes
for
you wonder
Jameis.
why he didn't play in more of those fucking Taysom Hill snaps earlier in the year. Like,
What if Drew Brees gets sat in his last game for Jameis? Was there ever a chance that was going to happen? I mean, three picks. That
No,
wasn't going to happen, right?
Absolutely not.
he would have had to take a hit.
Yeah.
It seems to me the Saints did more to lose this game than the Bucks did to win it. You turned the ball over 4 times. They had the punt return for a touchdown called back on an unnecessary hold, a blatant hold, but an unnecessary one. They blew it.
Brady wasn't even that good.
No. Antonio Brown only caught 1 ball.
What's his deal? Is he hurt?
He looked great coming into the stadium. He had a dope fire fit on.
Dope fire fits.
Yeah, dope fire fit.
Did you see the video of Brees and Brady after the game?
Very cool video. Very cool. I'm so glad we got audio of it.
Is there audio?
There's someone filmed it from. It looked like the first couple rows of the stands, and you can hear it. It's not crystal clear. You can definitely hear everything they're saying though, and it's really cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, Breeze's son tosses up a ball to Tom and just runs a route to the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
And of course he puts it on the money. That was cool. And walking away, he says something to like one of his sons, like, "Hey, be nice to your sister." And, it's just guy talk. It was fun.
It's fun to see titans of the game be friends, And as corny as that is, as a guy who doesn't really pull for either of those dudes, I'm like, oh, that's neat. Because I thought, after the game when they went up to each other and hugged real quick, I was like, oh, that was weird. I expected more out of that interaction. Well, it turns out they were just waiting for after the game. So you love to see it.
That was before the game, I thought.
No. They had something before, but after the game, they had a little handshake. I agree. It was a little weird because Tom was holding onto the ball or one of the game balls in his helmet, and I'm like, it's almost as if he's just carrying around Drew Brees' skull to add it to his pile of careers he's put in the grave.
He's got a lot of skulls that he's holding too. The craziest stat of the whole weekend is that is his 32nd career playoff win, and the next highest on the all-time list is Joe Montana at 16. He's literally doubled the competition. It's amazing what this dude has done.
That's Joe Montana too.
8 postseason wins versus the NFC for Tom Brady now. Obviously 7 Super Bowl or whatever the Super Bowls are, and then the 6 Super Bowls, and then the 2 NFC wins he has now. And then Drew Brees' total career NFC playoff victories, 8.
Damn. Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask the question that everybody wants to kick around. Drew Brees, assuming this was his last game, does he end up in the Garden of American Heroes in the White House?
We'll have to see when President Biden adds his executive order list.
Okay.
But he did not make the inaugural list, unfortunately.
We got breaking news. I have to get to this. Did you see that Garth Brooks is performing at the inauguration? Garth Brooks, not Chris Gaines. Very important.
Oh, that's a good thing to point out.
We didn't get to that. There was no Garth on the list when we did this on Circling Back, so I had to interject it here. Apologies. You guys want to talk coaching carousel?
I thought we were going to talk about girth.
Let's talk about girth.
Anybody watch the Garth Brooks documentary? I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's for some reason it's 2 90-minute episodes, and Caitlin and I just could not stop watching it. And it's not because his music is good or because he's talented, because neither of those things are really true. It's just he is.
Oh, come on.
Caitlin was like, I have never heard a human being talk like this. He is just so incredibly sincere about everything.
He's a weird
guy.
guy.
And it is really comical. I really could not recommend it highly enough.
Tim Tebow of country music.
To the extreme.
That's pretty good.
All right, so coaching carousel.
Sorry, we can stop talking about girth now.
Slow train wreck that I feel like I've been talking about now for 3 weeks is continuing to stay on the track. Chargers announced that they're hiring the Rams defensive coordinator, Brandon Staley, who I believe might be 35. I don't know how old Brandon Staley is, but he is not has not been around as far as a coordinator very long. Let me confirm that real quick.
He is 38.
38. There you go. Brandon Staley, Rams had the number 1 defense in the NFL this year, so it's not a shock that his name was out there for interviews. But hey, for that to be what a lot of people pointed at as the premier job, you've got a roster with Keenan Allen, which Bosa, Nick or Joey? Joey Bosa, obviously Justin Herbert with a franchise level quarterback, Austin Eckler, like you've got a team. Melvin Ingram, although they need, I think, get him back in free agency. And then Derwin James will be healthy again. That team is stacked, and they go out and get a young DC as their head coach. We'll see how it works out. I'm sure they'll put talent around him.
But
Lions
KJ,
also,
something you're not thinking about, there was like no brilliant offensive minds out there like for them to interview.
Yep.
Like Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, like Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, he has a job, I guess.
Lions announced that they're hiring the tight end coach of the Saints, who's he was interim coach for the Dolphins a few years back, former Cowboy, not great, but former Cowboy.
Aggie also, right?
Aggie also, Dan Campbell. The Jets are hiring the Niners defense coordinator, Robert Saleh. Obviously, we've talked about Urban Meyer. I don't know if I've seen the official announcement for the Falcons hiring Arthur Smith, but that's Titans offense coordinator. So good on that. Wanted to run through that because it leaves us with 2 openings, Eagles and the Texans. Now, as David alluded to, is it Brian Dable, I believe? The Bills offense coordinator, I believe Brian Dable is still out there. Eric Bieniemy, Kansas City Chiefs, is still out there. And then nobody's called top 10 offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich, just as much experience as Brandon Staley. 0 calls for interviews for him. The Eagles have reached out to Lincoln Riley, Kellen Moore, Josh McDaniels. And they'll probably throw some other names on that list because none of those meet the Rooney Rule. So who knows what the Eagles are going to do. And then the Texans are saying they're going to interview Leslie Frazier, former Minnesota Vikings coach, and the Bills defense coordinator. Having said all that, what the fuck happens with these 2 jobs, and which, I guess, would you say is a preferable to take at this point?
The Texans situation is like so insane. I saw the report that like they're leaning towards he's gone. Deshaun Watson's out of there. I still don't believe it. McNair's not a good owner, but like I would be shocked if he was able to get a haul that would be worthy of Deshaun Watson.
Time out. Isn't Bob McNair dead?
Cal McNair?
Yeah.
Oh, son. Okay.
Also not a good owner.
Yeah, also not a good owner.
Have they picked a GM yet?
Yeah, the dude from the Patriots.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they did not consult Deshaun on that.
Right.
Even though they said they would, apparently. Apparently, this dude Easterby is hated by everybody. People like a lot of
Easterby thing is there's been a lot of words written about this guy in Sports Illustrated. There are some insane leaks in that organization. There are dudes like sitting in meetings in conference rooms this size that are clearly just talking to reporters all the time about this dude. He stinks.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
No, it's not what you want.
It's not at all. The Eagles' job
He's like the
seems
Brett.
to be far better than the Texans' job.
The Eagles' job, at least you know that you're not going to have a say on who the quarterback is. Like, you're going in and they're telling you that Wentz is the guy.
You got to fix Carson Wentz.
So it's like, okay, I know that. Going in, if you agree to take the job in Houston, you don't know if Deshaun's going to be there or if you're rebuilding.
And despite Wentz having just an atrocious year, you know he's capable of being a good quarterback.
And you have draft picks, which the Texans don't have.
No, they don't.
The Texans do have J.J. Watt's workout videos, though.
Oh, yeah.
And his charitable efforts, which are very nice. Shout out to them.
Something.
Yeah, you got to say
what's
the
gonna
Eagles' job
happen,
is the more desirable job, not that either of them are great.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to come of that. We do have early lines in for this upcoming weekend. Green Bay, 3.5-point favorite at home versus Tampa. Kansas City, 3-point favorite at home versus Buffalo. Basically calling both these games a toss-up with home teams getting a field goal edge. We'll cover that and an update on dip picks on Thursday night.
Yeah, I think so. I think Thursday night be our last live stream. What do you think?
TBD.
Are we going to do one before the Super Bowl?
I don't know. You know my kid's supposed to be born on Super Bowl Sunday. Fun
Wow.
fact.
Can you
Fun
tell
fact.
him just to wait a little bit?
I know. I'm be like, dude, I'm trying to watch this game. Like
Right.
I got the big game coming up, and when my team,
You will appreciate if he is actually, because it'll give you something to do like during the come down period, if you will.
that will be nice.
It'd be kind of fun to have a kid born on Super Bowl Sunday.
Be memorable.
Sure.
Speaking of memorable,
Especially if it's like a dope game, then you like tie it into like historically to your child's birth, you know?
yeah,
If something miraculous happens, think about it.
may have to
about
change
it.
up our name plans.
Yeah.
Dylan, I've been noticing that you've been a lot more calm lately. Have you been dabbling in Headspace?
Few people are saying that, but yes, I feel fantastic, and yes, I have been dabbling with Headspace, Dave.
It's
I
your-
love Headspace.
It's your daily dose of mindfulness in the form of guided meditations in an easy-to-use app.
Here's a true story. I used Headspace before they became a sponsor. That's how much I love Headspace.
Really?
How about that? Facts. Straight facts.
I believe you. You've been optimized for a while. Headspace is one of the only meditation apps advancing the field of mindfulness and meditation through clinically validated research. So whatever the situation, Headspace really can help you feel better. If you're overwhelmed, Headspace has a 3-minute SOS meditation for you. I recommend that one. It's fantastic.
If you've never dabbled in meditation and you're kind of curious about it but don't know really how to do it, you're exactly like me when I started. I didn't know really what to do. And it takes you step by step. It walks you through the process. It's so easy, and it's just relaxed. Shut your brain off.
Definitely.
All the noise that affects your well-being, your mental well-being, just shut it off. Clear your head.
It's backed. Headspace is backed by 25 published studies on its benefits, 600,000 5-star reviews, and over 60 million downloads. That's so many.
That's a lot.
We love it here. You deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/bang. Bang. Again, headspace.com/bang for a free 1-month trial with access to their full library of meditations for every situation. That's headspace.com/bang. You know who was in quite the headspace over the weekend is one young Max Holloway, Micah.
Ooh, Combat Sports Minute
Combat
time.
Sports Minute is back. Did you watch that fight?
I did.
It was on ABC. Did anybody else watch the fight?
I could have missed fight. I didn't watch it.
Okay. It's a good fight.
It was a great fight.
It's a fight night, so it was free, like we said, ABC. It was Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, Boston's own versus Hawaii's own. Max Holloway, who I was shocked to find out was only 29. It just feels like he's had like 50 fights in the UFC.
He's a grizzled vet.
He really is. He looked awesome. He beat the piss out of Kattar. Kattar's more of like a one-hitter quitter type. He's got hands. He's got power. Holloway's a volume guy. May not knock you out, but
Well, apparently, according to the statistics, he landed more punches than any fighter in the history of the UFC in a fight. He just battered this dude for 5 rounds and didn't slow down. I mean, it was just a really impressive performance.
yeah, it was awesome. I like him a lot. Holloway's going to be next in line to fight for the title. I guess the winner of Volkanovski, Brian Ortega?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
And then there's also the rumor that, or I think Max said this, that he's staying in Abu Dhabi on Fight Island in the event that someone falls out of the Conor fight on Saturday.
Yeah, so Conor fights Dustin Poirier this weekend for the second time. I don't really see Max. Max has already lost to both of these guys, actually. But I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I don't know if you can fight. He did take some punches. He wasn't free of damage.
It sounds a little sketchy to me.
There's no way. But yeah, we got Conor this weekend. How H are you guys for Conor?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm over Conor.
The king is
Really?
back.
His
antics?
His antics are too much, and he doesn't have. He's got what, 4 losses? Is that right? You can't act like that with 4 losses. He's doing too much. He's a
Habib,
douchebag.
Diaz,
He's very douchey.
somebody else.
I'm just kind of over his whole charade.
KJ.
I'm H for Poirier to, try to. He lost last fight, right? Pretty definitively.
Dustin Poirier, was his last fight Habib?
Not last fight. His with Conor. Isn't this a rematch?
Oh yeah. Conor knocked him out,
Yeah.
and that was
So-
but that was at a lower weight.
What I'm getting at there is not to sow dirt on Connor's name more so than he already has, but given Connor's sordid history with sexual assault cases still pending, Team Poirier, give me 3.5 eggplants for old DP.
I too would like to see Conor's ass get whipped. He needs more slices of humble pie because he hadn't had enough yet. Habib owns his ass. It's not enough. He's still a chotch. I'm sorry, I'm over him.
He's a chotch.
He is a chotch.
I will say, part of the fun in watching a Connor fight is the crowd. Very heavily Irish.
Yeah.
They show out for him, and this will be, I believe, in Abu Dhabi with limited fans, and by limited I mean like 1,000 maybe. I don't know how many were there.
There were people in that building.
Not enough to recreate like what a Connor fight normally is.
No.
So.
I do love the Irish. Just not Connor.
Okay. Put that on the.
Yeah, Dylan loves the Irish.
Okay.
You know he loves the Irish. I don't know. That'll be fun. We'll pick that fight on Thursday on the live stream. You guys.
I'm quite H. Just to I want the world to know I'm H for this fight.
Good.
Should be fun.
Okay, we can hop right into quick tips. We had a little breaking news right before this pod. Jeremy Pruitt out at Tennessee. What's the story here? Recruiting?
There are some. He was sort of put on probation a couple weeks ago. They sort of put him and his staff. They froze the staff a couple weeks ago due to some recruiting violations that popped up. The staff was all eligible for raises or something, and then they weren't getting them. And apparently Tennessee is firing him with cause, so they don't have to pay him. We'll see how that works. I've never.
Scene.
It doesn't ever seem to work in college sports. These coaches generally have good lawyers and get some money back, but a bit of a surprise on the timing anyway. Phil Fulmer is also out. He claims that it has nothing to do with this. He's retiring, and it has nothing to do with the exit of Jeremy Pruitt, which is convenient considering Fulmer gave Pruitt an extension and a raise all the way back in September of 2020.
Jeez.
Phil Fulmer has done a terrible job there. That athletic department is a goddamn train
If
wreck,
these weren't
and I
connected,
love it.
If that's not the reason for him leaving, why not just wait till, like, I don't know, next year, maybe 6 months from now.
Tomorrow.
Until the story, people are starting to get about it. Like, okay, I want to move on now.
What was the
Shut up.
What was the drama like a year or two ago? Didn't they try to hire Schiano?
Yeah, that was like 3 years
And
ago
like
when
Clay-
they hired Pruitt, and then Clay Travis
torpedoed it.
He led KJ and I were talking about this previously. He led an insurrection against Schiano. They trumped up some weird. Oh
Yeah,
wow, I'm really
buzzwords.
doing it here, but they hyped up some charges against Schiano of mistreatment or something. I forget what it was.
Was it Sandusky related?
Yeah, there was
basically
some.
said Schiano was aware of and/or covered up sexual assaults at Penn State.
I think it was highly exaggerated.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been any.
Completely fabricated, apparently. Like,
truth to it.
It's all internet rumor. Like there was no charge in it. In the beginning, I think he was questioned in relation to something, but he was never the target of said investigation.
I think he got deposed as a witness.
Right.
And at the end of the day, there was a number of Tennessee influential people who did not. They didn't care about that. They just didn't think he was a football guy, the right guy for Tennessee. So of course they just sullied his name.
Yeah, they used those rumors as an excuse to get rid of him.
Since
And then
the
they moved heaven and earth to get Jeremy Pruitt, and then they force him out 3 years later.
There's a little bit of a tie-in to another quick tip because we're going to talk some Texas high school football. Katy, perennial powerhouse, suburb outside of Houston, just took it to Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill's there's Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill.
Andy Dalton's alma mater?
Andy Dalton is a Katy high school grad.
Right.
Cedar Hill, their quarterback is committed to Tennessee.
Okay.
And I don't know what this Jeremy Pruitt thing is going to do to that. He's awesome. Cedar Hill's not that good, but they've got this quarterback whose name escapes me, who's badass.
Something.
They're in the state title game. They're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. That I shouldn't poo-poo that. We got to talk about Westlake.
They did it again. Westlake, no less than 2 miles from here.
Yeah. So
No more than, I should say.
Our hometown team here we're in the Westlake area. Is the Chaparrals, where Drew Brees played ball, Nick Foles,
Justin Tucker,
Justin
best
Tucker
kicker in the league.
Missed two.
As long as the wind's not blowing.
As long as the wind's not blowing. They absolutely steamrolled Southlake Carroll. If that name sounds familiar, it's because the great Chase Daniels played ball there, Missouri's own.
Chase Daniel. Chipotle Chase.
They've had runs as a powerhouse program, Southlake.
Yeah, going into this game, I think they were 8-1 or 7-1 in state title games, and they just got steamrolled. And they were dubbing this the Dodge Bowl because it was a father-son. Todd Dodge is the dad, coaches at Westlake. His son Riley Dodge coaches Southlake.
Todd was previously at Southlake.
And for this game to happen in the middle of Truck Month is just crazy.
I'm intrigued by this Westlake quarterback because he put it to Quinn Ewers. Is that his name? Southlake?
Yes.
Who's the
Number one recruit in the country.
in the nation. This Wesley kid just got better numbers all around, and obviously they beat him heads up.
Is he committed to Texas?
I don't know anything about him really.
He's
That's why
a-
I'm intrigued.
He's a junior. I think he is a
Quarterbacks
UT.
commit early though,
Yeah.
because there aren't that many spots to go around for quarterbacks.
Southlake's who beat Duncanville, and yeah, I would have loved to have seen Westlake and Duncanville, but man, I was shocked, man. Southlake's defense had no answer. Westlake's got some dudes, man.
I don't know how.
And it's
man.
weird because I feel like I've heard nothing about their team all season. Maybe it's because I'm so Dallas focused. But
When I heard they're in the state title game, I was very surprised. I hadn't heard shit about them.
yeah,
They're always good.
Their defense had averaged, they had allowed 5.5 points per game, which was pretty good.
That's
and then
a low number.
they sort of flew under the radar, but I did see pregame that they had the number one offense in 6A and the number one defense in 6A.
That usually is a winning
So
recipe.
that's a good way to do it.
Like for perspective, Duncanville last couple of years, I don't know about this year, but like their defense was everything anyone ever talked about. And they were averaging like 6.8 points a game given up. So for Westlake to do this, that's impressive. I added the note about Denton Ryan beating Cedar Park. Only just to go back to what you were saying with Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, all neighboring towns in the southern Dallas County area. It's pretty just random or cool for me to see like multiple schools like crop up, like strong talent all at once. Cedar Park and Westlake are very similar. I mean, there's a little bit of distance there. But it's just cool to see that happen all at once when you have like the same area, pop up in state title games.
definitely. I didn't realize how good Cedar Park was. I should probably pay more attention to Travis County football, and I'll do better next year. How about that?
We've got Lake Travis here too, which has become a powerhouse program.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Definitely.
It's really good quarterback play in the city of Austin. Austin doesn't put out many like athletes generally. Football I'm talking about. But quarterbacks, man. It's a quarterback.
You didn't
town.
even name Sam Ellinger.
Why didn't I? What the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, Sam Ellinger. Gur. I don't even know what it is.
I don't know. I like to say it different every time.
Yeah. Quarterback city.
You guys want to talk golf?
Let's talk golf.
Maybe golf controversy? Well, first of all, let's start off on a good note. 77 days until the Masters. Thank you to whoever put that note in.
Can't
That's
come
fine.
soon enough.
Cannot come soon enough. Justin Thomas loses his polo sponsorship after a microphone picked up him dropping a derogatory term.
He dropped the F-bomb and not the fun kind.
No.
You know?
Yeah, at himself. Lost that polo sponsorship. Damn. That's a big dude. He was the face of polo.
Tough scene. Yeah, that big polo on the chest has got to be on someone else now. They're gonna pick somebody else. He lost it.
Maybe he'll get picked up by U.S. Polo
He's
Association.
gonna look sharper now at least.
That's really good.
Those shirts, they look like they're. I know he's a small guy. It might have something to do with it. But those shirts, they look like they're made for 8-year-olds.
Yeah, it barely covers the whatever deltoid he has, his little shoulder muscle.
Just a bad shirt on a bad frame is not a good combo.
Immediate pit situation.
I'm seeing a lot of people, some chatter on Twitter saying that Aeropostale and Hollister are like his next two sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah.
Which one do you guys think?
He should
Pretty
go
much.
with Hollister.
You think Hollister?
Also throw in like a puka shell, like a dope puka shell.
Basically
Just
anything
completely
you can
change the
find
vibe out there.
at the Parks Mall in Arlington.
Right.
Somewhere not owned by the L brands. Shout out Les Wexner.
Oh wow, that's a deep tie.
Layers.
Yeah, I mean it's not shocking. Ralph Lauren's fashion world. You can't have the face of your thing drop a homophobic slur. He was very apologetic, to his credit. I don't think we should like completely take him out back and murder him, but
These guys
Was he
are
talking
still,
about like the soda that the Insane Clown Posse likes to drink? Or was he actually saying the word?
I think what you're thinking of is Faygo.
Oh.
That is it. That is the soda.
Blueberry Faye.
Yeah,
They
specific.
love their Faygo, man.
Why do they love Faygo so
love
much?
Faygo? All that sugar.
That's how it go.
It's too much sugar.
Blueberry Fago.
Let's
Wow.
run it back.
You want to run it back? Let's run it back.
Let's run it back. It's time to talk about what we've previously talked about. It's Run It Back. Hey, if you have a problem with me mentioning Cole Campbell memes on MLK Day, you can call the Dip hotline. What's that number, Dave?
It's 833-371-DIPP.
Jurassic Wiener is a weird show that Dylan's not completely sold on. Pinkalicious got shut down in East Dallas. Dylan is a big social media guy. That's where things are popping.
Facts.
Shouts to the Chocolate Rain guy. Just wanted to get that in there.
Tay Zonde.
Dylan loves watching football in the snow and watching football with snow.
I don't think
That according to Dave, to be fair.
I just
I should attribute.
speculating. I apologize.
The Raven Sinner fisted his whole mouth.
Okay.
Romo did a lot of things in his pants on that fourth down play. Baker's going to beat back the haters and losers, of which there are many.
Uh-huh.
AB had a dope fire fit pregame. Let's talk about girth. Dylan's been dabbling in Headspace, and you too can dabble at headspace.com/bang.
Added value.
Dylan is over Connor, who is quote-unquote a douchebag who is very douchey. He is also, according to Dylan, a chooch.
Chach.
Oh, I'm sorry, a
A
chooch.
chooch.
A chooch is
A chooch.
I think it's the same thing. I think
Who the
it's
fuck is that guy?
yeah.
He's a chooch.
Dylan loves the Irish, just not Connor. He wanted to be clear. And a lot of people are pointing to Hollister and Aeropostale as possible sponsorship destinations for JT.
That was really good.
Fun stuff.
Good pod.
I had fun. Did you have fun, Dylan?
It was a good time.
Hey,
Yeah.
since you're not doing the mailing, we can bring that here.
You want to bring it here?
Yeah.
You enjoyed that.
You do it.
Did you guys have fun? I had fun.
Ask KJ.
Okay, did you have fun?
I love that so much.
Oh, wow.
I was having an okay time until we brought that here.
KJ had fun.
Now I'm having fun.
That's great.
Let's go.
I had fun too.
So we're gonna do the live stream Thursday.
Live stream Thursday.
We're gonna do Tiger Doc in the next week or two.
Correct.
So everybody watch the Tiger Doc. They're both out. Both parts are out. We're gonna knock
streaming
that
on
HBO.
out. HBO. And our live stream is on the Wash Media YouTube page.
Sure.
Guys, any parting thoughts?
Support Dippy.
I just love
Go
you
buy a
guys, that's
T-shirt.
all.
This one we did it for Dippy. I hope
missed-
we did him justice.
I miss KJ. Hopefully he can get it back in the office soon.
Yeah. I gotta say though, this has not been the
It's
worst.
not
This
awful.
is working pretty well. I'm looking right at him.
What I don't like about it though is it's working so well. I don't want to be like, oh, let's just do this
It
from here
will.
on
It
out.
will not be the default.
Okay.
Your boy is falling way behind on podcast consumption. Those 6 hours each week come in handy.
Great.
We will see y'all Thursday night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All I know, I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.